Of Indian arts and paying homage to the author on the occasion of her first death anniversary. We will begin by observing 1 minute's silence. Ladies and gentlemen, we will observe silence for 1 minute. I request you to kindly stand. Thank you. Alka Raghuvanshi was a very special person, someone I've known since college. She was very sensitive, very caring, a person who went through so much in life, लेकिन उसके माथे पर एक शिकन भी नहीं आई, उसने उफ तक भी नहीं किया। उसने बहुत कुछ बर्दाश्त किया और अपने जीवन के हर दर्द को छुपाया अपनी हंसी से और अपनी सारी ऊर्जा केंद्रित की अपने काम पर। Alka was a multifaceted personality. She was India's first trained art curator, having trained at the Goldsmiths College, London, and at the Museum of Modern Art in Oxford. She has curated and designed major exhibitions and written detailed catalogues, many of which travel to other parts of the country and the world as well. A senior columnist and author, she has been on the editorial teams of the Indian Express, the Times of India, and the BBC. As editor of Swagat, she redesigned and relaunched the magazine to take into account the changed art scenario in terms of design and coverage. For the first time in the history of journalism, she was able to run an arts page every day for half a decade as the arts editor of The Pioneer. In Alka Raghuvanshi's writing career on the arts spanning nearly 35 years, she has documented an entire generation of artists who have shaped the artistic heritage of the country, captured in her two books, Pathfinders, Artists of One World, and A Moment in Time with Legends of Indian Arts, which will be launched today. She has authored and edited over 26 books. Alka Raghuvanshi and her sister Manisha Gawade made a perfect team together. They both did over 125 painting exhibitions together the world over. And after Alka's demise, Manisha has pledged to take the legacy forward that Alka leaves behind and will be taking forward Alka's work in the field of art and culture. Alka, her sister Manisha, and her daughter Harika lived together in one house as a family for over a decade and shared many magical and loving moments. During the last month before Alka left us all for her heavenly abode, Manisha and Harika, Alka's niece, looked after her critical health, and they feel a void in their lives, yet they know that she is there for them as a guardian angel. अलका रघुवंशी को श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करते हुए हम कार्यक्रम का आरंभ भजन से कर रहे हैं। कलाकार है मीता पंडित। मीता पंडित ग्वालियर घराने की समकालीन पीढ़ी की जानी मानी गायिका है। आप अपने परिवार की संगीत परंपरा की छठी पुश्त का प्रतिनिधित्व करती हैं। पद्म भूषण से अलंकृत पंडित कृष्णराव पंडित आपके दादा थे और सुविख्यात पंडित लक्ष्मण कृष्णराव पंडित आपके पिता एवं गुरु हैं। अपनी बुलंद आवाज़ और राग की गहन प्रस्तुति के लिए आप जानी जाती हैं। ख्याल के साथ साथ आप टप्पा, भजन, ठुमरी और सूफी प्रस्तुति के लिए भी जाने जाते हैं। She was recently honored with the prestigious कुमार गंधर्व सम्मान। आज अलका रघुवंशी को श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करते हुए मीता जी भजन प्रस्तुत करेंगी। आपके जो संगत कलाकार हैं उन्हें मैं मंच पर आमंत्रित करती हूँ। तबले पर पंडित शंभुनाथ भट्टाचार्य और हारमोनियम पर श्री चेतन मेवा। Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Meeta Pandit.
Musical tribute to Alka ji, and I'm singing those compositions which she loved.
पूरा नहीं कटेगा ना?
बंसी बजाते नाचती गाते जमुना तट जमुना तट वीरान पड़ा है जमुना तट वीरान पड़ा है मन मंदिर सुनसान पड़ा है
मैं मीता जी को उनकी प्रस्तुति के लिए बहुत धन्यवाद देती हूँ। और अब कुछ ही क्षणों में समय है अलका रघुवंशी की पुस्तक A Moment in Time with Legends of Indian Arts के लॉन्च का। What I will be reading now is an excerpt from her book. Quote, "Art is perfection, and the constant quest for it sets the special individual apart from the crowd. This is not to say that artists attain it every time they lift their brush, tie their ghungroos, touch their instruments, or open their mouths to sing. They do not. But when they do, that creates a moment of magic and wonder that is worth all the pain, the effort, and the heartbreak of the journey. This book is a collection of such moments with legends that have so helped refine the aesthetic perceptions of an era that have become almost synonymous with their chosen art forms. In interviewing and writing about these representatives of a special age in the history of India's artistic heritage, the attempt is not to analyze and chronicle their lives, but to understand their struggle and the legacy of their genius. Speaking to each individual is fraught with this particular set of problems. After you have chased them and pinned them down to a meeting, you might find them surrounded by a plethora of hangers-on. Then they may take an instant dislike to you and decide to clam up. They are sensitive souls. Fortunately, that never happened to me. What did happen in the initial years was that my aesthetic or artistic appreciation of their genius often left me tongue-tied. It was much later that I discovered that this was an effective tool for interaction, or at least interviewing. For interviewing someone else is not an occasion to establish your intellectual credentials after all. My working knowledge of Bhojpuri, Awadhi, Punjabi and Tamil helped me establish a rapport which was virtually instantaneous. In many of these meetings, I often switched languages. But then, as they say, words constitute only 7% of communication. It is this faith that one is communicating to a kindred soul that makes many interaction meaningful. As a consequence, I have been privy to a lot of information that may not have found place in the published piece, for some of it was shared in a moment when it was just two persons sharing their innermost emotions and experiences, and not a writer speaking to an artist. Some of them have become friends and remained close over the years. Most of these interviews have been conducted in the first half of the 90s. Unfortunately, in this book's journey, some of the artists have been called away by the universal boatman, but the ripples they created on the waters of time will linger for several generations after." Unquote. To release the book, if you just give us a couple of minutes while they're setting the stage, we'll continue with this. Thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. To release the book, I invite on stage Mr. Kumar Tuhin, Director General of ICCR, Mr. Sunit Tandon, Director of India Habitat Center, Guru Radha Reddy, Guru Kaushalya Reddy, Guru Sharon Lohan, Ustad Wasifuddin Dagar, Shri Ranveer Kaleka, Radhika Chopra, Shri Rajesh Taylor, Shri Sanjay Arya, Kumud Sharma, Suhasini Shah, and Manisha Gawade. I request our Chief Guest, Mr. Kumar Tuhin, Director General of ICCR, to kindly release the book, and I request all who are on the stage to kindly join in the book release.
कुछ नहीं, एक बार पेन कर लूँगा ना सबका। बढ़ा दिया भाई साहब। कहाँ थे भाई साहब? इधर का भी जला दिया, इस साइड का भी लाइट, इस साइड।
सेंटर में ले लेता हूँ, इनको भी सेंटर में लेता हूँ। सेंटर में आइए ना, मैम आप सेंटर में आइए मैम सेंटर में आइए मैम, प्लीज़ सेंटर में आइए, आप सेंटर में आइए, सेंटर में आइए, सेंटर में आइए।
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to inform you that limited copies of this book and a previous book, Gawade-Ehsaas, A Chorus of Solitude, are on sale outside in the foyer. This evening we are surrounded by people who knew Alka well. Today, as we offer Shraddhanjali to her, I would like to invite some who knew her well to come on stage and speak a few words about her. I will first invite Mr. Kumar Tuhin, Director General of ICCR, and our Chief Guest today, to kindly speak a few words on this occasion.
Good evening, everyone, distinguished guests. When
Sanjay ji came to see me a few days ago with a copy of the book that we have just released today. I could not but take a very quick glance in front of him and realized what a treasure trove it was. The book contains a compilation of interviews. And what Alka Raghuvanshi says is a moment of hers in time in the company of legends of Indian arts. Well, I counted, and there were 26 legends in total, and even sprinkling of both from performing arts and visual arts. What I found very interesting while quickly going through the book was that it was not merely a compilation of interviews, which would make it a reproduction of dialogue between the author and those interviewed, but also contains very interesting assessment and insights into the persona of the artist, and which is so important to analyze and chronicle those giants. Some of the quotes from the book have already been read earlier by Sadhana ji. I will just repeat one more, and where the author says that they're all creative. It goes without saying. Most of them are also eccentric. Some of them are selfish and egotistical too, but all of them are genuinely different, and that is what sets them apart from the crowd. Now, Alka Raghuvanshi ji herself requires no introduction, and during her 4 decades long career in the field of arts, she wrote prolifically books, columns, and also curated several exhibitions and shows. She has left a large body of work. I did not have the opportunity of personally working with her, but her association with Indian Council of Cultural Relations was quite close. She served as an expert of the Technical Evaluation Committee for busts and statues, and as you are aware that ICCR commissions a significant number of busts and statues at the request of Indian embassies and consulates for installation abroad. And it is extremely important that when we send these work abroad, these are not only of very high quality, but also capture and represent the personality of the dignitary. And in Alka Raghuvanshi, we had an authority who we could always rely on for this task. She was also associated with us in similar committees in ICCR for a long time. And in fact, almost till the last day when she was snatched away from us 1 year ago, she was helping ICCR in commissioning of busts and statues and several other tasks. So I would like to commend Sanjay Arya and Shubhi Publications for bringing out this high quality and wonderful book, which does not only give us insight into the personalities of these legends and their works, but also is a tribute to Alka Raghuvanshi herself, in that indomitable spirit of hers as artist, curator, writer, and also the beautiful person that she was, and her contribution to the field of arts. I'm sure all of you would enjoy reading the book. I thank you very much for inviting me today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have with us Mr. Sunit Tandon, Director of India Habitat Center, without whom this program couldn't have been possible. I request him to kindly speak a few words.
Good evening. It feels very strange to be standing here to speak when Alka is not with us and has not been with us for a year now. I happen to be amongst those fortunate people who knew her for a very long time indeed. And I think as much time as Sadhana, possibly almost from college days. She mentioned that she knew her from college. So I've seen her over a very long period of time, and I've seen her develop and grow and become the renowned figure that she did become, both as a curator and as an artist herself. And throughout it all, that smile that you see on that photograph over there was always present. I have never seen Alka without that very bright smile on her face, whatever her circumstances. As Sadhna mentioned, she went through a lot in her life. She faced a lot of challenges, but that smile, that bright smile and that bright face and that laughter were always, always present. So that's how we remember her. And I must say that she was a pioneer not only in terms of being a curator, but also in terms of innovative projects, because she got me to walk the ramp even once or twice. She came up with this concept of wearable art, and she persuaded many of her artist friends to design saris and ties and so on and so forth, and stoles. And she held fashion shows. And she said, artists will walk the ramp, and as somebody who's been associated with theatre, she selected me as well. So I was wearing a tie designed by an artist, walking the ramp. So Manisha was a very multifaceted person, and somebody whom we will miss very much so that when Manisha and Sanjay came to me with this idea of having a very different kind of ceremony to unveil this book, a last book, so to speak, I was only too pleased that we could have it at the India Habitat Center. And the distinguished lineup of luminaries you see on stage and in the audience is testament to the love that Alka invoked in all of us. Thank you very much for being here. Congratulations to Shruti, publications to Sanjay, and of course to Manisha on this occasion.
Thank you. Now I invite eminent Kuchipudi dancers and Guru Padma Bhushan awardee Guru Radha Reddy and Srimati Kaushalya Reddy. You will be speaking. His visual will come on later.
Good evening. It's really sad that today we are in this Habitat Center, standing and doing this ceremony, but also very happy that we are able to release the book that has been written by Alka, a dear friend, for 40 decades. 4 decades, 40 donkey years. And I used to always remember her. When I was a teenager, I would see her with big bindi. Her trademark used to be her kumkum wala bindi. And that used to be the beauty. And my husband would always say, हिंदुस्तान की नारी ऐसे होनी चाहिए. She was fond of us.
उसका बिंदी, उसका आर्गुमेंट्स, उसका एलिगेंस, और अभी तक मैं किसी को देखा भी नहीं हूँ. इतना सुंदर था.
And a beautiful person inside and outside. And we have beautiful memories of her from Rafi Mark, where we were staying in Vithalbhai Patel House, and they were staying at Aditya Sadan, if I'm not wrong. Yes, that's how we met. Yeah. So we truly miss Alka today, but we are very happy Manisha is taking the legacy forward. What Alka had started, the sari thing, the painting, curating. Excellent. We are so proud of you, Manisha. And I'm sure Alka is showering her blessings on you and looking upon you and feeling proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Radhaji. Thank you, Kaushalya. And now I invite the well-known contemporary Indian multimedia artist, honored with the National Award and Punjab Gaurav Samman, Shri Ranbir Khalata.
Good evening. Really honored to be here to pay homage to Alka. Now, looking at the book, which is very attractive, congratulations. And it is, I think, her engagement with different expressions in art, like dance, music, and painting. I think that's what gave her writing this special quality. Now, again, looking at this, I'm just reminded of one or two things. Her uncle, Majid Bawa, that I was very close to and spent a lot of time together. A few times when I spent the night with him in the morning, he would play music on his large speakers, and his son Ravi would sit very close, almost embracing the speakers, and he felt the vibration with his body. Now, Ravi couldn't hear any sound, but he was able to feel the music, feel the waves. And I was reminded of somebody who was studying at the College of Art in London. She was at the Royal Music of Art. Evelyn Glennie. Now, she was not born deaf. I think by the age of 8, she had gone totally deaf. But I remember that when she passed out, we passed out together. She got a first class first, and with honors. Now, she said that she could feel the sound waves with different parts of her body. And I think this is also how one experiences painting as well. You know, a painting can give you certain emotions. You know, your body can feel different and more. I think when the painter is working on it, I think this is also what made Alka such a writer, because she was a painter herself. And you paint with your whole body, with your emotion. And it is, you know, there's a range of bodily movements. There's the flourish of the gesture, but then there's also sudden tremor, you know, of uncertainty. And all that combines into making a beautiful painting, or a powerful painting, indeed. Also, something else that Manjit used to do, as we're talking about music quite a bit this evening, before starting in the morning, quite a few times that I saw him do this, he would first sweep the studio floor, then spread some petals, almost like as if it was a dance floor, but then he would sit cross-legged and play on the flute. So I think that made him enter a certain zone, which was this artistic zone, and we can see the kind of musicality in his paintings as well. So I don't think I will add much more this evening, just again to congratulate one of this fantastic book which has come out. Looking forward to going through this. Good evening and thank you.
Thank you. We have with us the well-known Dhrupad exponent, who is also a calligraphist, Padma Shri Awardee, Ustad Wasifuddin Dagar. I request him to kindly offer his Shraddhanjali to Alka.
Namaskar. I would speak and I would also like to say a few couplets. हम जिस पे मर रहे हैं वो है बात ही कुछ और. हम जिस पे मर रहे हैं वो है बात ही कुछ और. दुनिया में तेरे लाख सही तू मगर कहाँ. और ज़िंदगी एक हादसा है और एक ऐसा हादसा मौत से भी जिसका सिलसिला ख़त्म होता नहीं. तो हम लोग वो हादसे के शिकार हैं अलका रघुवंशी जी के थ्रू जो हमारे साथ घट चुका है, उस शख्सियत का, उस पर्सनालिटी का, जो जिससे थोड़ा सा बिंदासपन होना बहुत ज़रूरी होता था. आई एम स्पीकिंग नॉर्मल लैंग्वेज, प्लीज सॉरी. तो बिंदासपन उनमें एक, इट वॉज इन बॉर्न, इट वॉज हर इंस्टिंक्ट टू बी बिंदास, and she was. Her innovations were, she made us walk here in this particular place. And I escaped the first time when she had it in November. Yeah. So I escaped and I said, I'm busy, I could not come. So next time when I met her, yaar, dekh, ab kyun pakad lungi main. So she was like this. So you had to have a bit of fight with her, some argument, some discussions. So I had also talked about the 5 P's, what music stands for us. Because we are not digital people, so we work on pulse. So our music always sounds different, or our painting always looks different. Because our pulse rate is different in different places and different areas. So our music stands or our culture also, or art stands on the 5 P's. But I'm more musicians, so this is what I will say. Pitch, pulse, pause. Because silence is majestic. You have to listen to the silence. You have to attain the silence. Pitch, pulse, pause. And we try to perfect whatever we are doing, whatever we want to do. Pitch, pulse, pause, and perfection. And purity stands away, or sometimes it is with us, stands away like a thumb. It gives a grip to things. So these are the 5 P's. And it's personal relations, what we have, we get to understand by indulge in music, in our art forms. So this is it. ARTS, art creates stars, and also the rats and tars, if you want to believe in that. So her innovations we'll always remember, and I wish the best of the best to Manisha ji. And because Indian music is different from the world music, because we have 7 seen note and 7 unseen note. How many people work in front of the stage? There are double amount of people who work behind the stage. So I wish all of you who are doing this, and I hope the spirit will be alive and it will be going on. Thank you.
I now request Guru Sharon Doan, well-known Odissi dancer and guru, to offer her tributes to Dr. Alka Raghuvanshi.
Namaskar. When Alka passed away, I really felt that a part of my being had been amputated. I don't remember how I met her, but Monish just was telling me that when she was a very little girl, she met me and Alka took her to my program. So she was 3 years old. So I don't know how old she is now, but I knew Alka before that, obviously. Right? You know, when we think of Alka, we think how wise and witty she was. And that smile, the genuine kindliness. She had so much integrity and generosity, and she really was respected by all who knew her, which is why when she said, "You're coming and marching on the stage," we all said, "Yes, ma'am, we're coming." We did it. Nobody could complain except you. Okay. Now, Sadhana mentioned that she had studied first at Goldsmith College in London to become a curator, possibly India's first curator. And I'm very touched by that because I always knew of Goldsmith as the home of the Laban Institute, Rudolf Laban, but also because my daughter had transferred from Sarah Lawrence College, which is supposed to be the top liberal arts college in the United States. She transferred to Goldsmith to finish her BA. So for Alka to have studied at Goldsmith meant that she had the finest cutting-edge training that prepared her. And then, of course, she went on to the Museum of Modern Art. Just days before she passed away, I was in the US and I was visiting a friend, Alan Gouin's Balloons, one of the top children's performers, still performing in his late 60s. And he brought out a book that he said, "Did I give you one of these?" And that was Alka's Pathfinders, Artists of One World. He said he was so impressed when he visited India and he saw that book that he bought 30 copies to give to all of his friends. And that was very touching. So in all of her writing over the years, she supported not only the arts, but also so many artists. And her paintings and design inspired so much collaboration. One time she was doing an exhibition and she said, "I'm sending you the slides of all my photos and all of my paintings, and now you have to make a slideshow and time it to go with a Git Govinda dance performance." And it worked. It was really great fun. She always came up with these intriguing ideas for collaboration that always worked. And it was Alka who suggested, because I'm very lazy about writing unless you have a real gun to my head. Sometimes Sanjay puts a gun to my head and I write recently. But she said, you have to write for Asian Age. And for about 5-6 years before COVID, I wrote every 2 weeks on the arts, which was really because of her, totally because of her. So many things were because of her. When she's gone, you start to remember all of those collaborative things, the birthdays, the events. And of course, we shared our love of traditional and handloom saris. And her collection is legendary. And today I am wearing the loving wrap of Monisha that was presented to me at one of her Ehsaas fashion shows, because she not only asked us to model, but she not only even gave us saris, but she let us choose. So she would come to us with a huge stack, and then we would go through and we would pick out what we liked, and then we would wear it, and then it was ours, which was really very nice. In fact, it's the only designer things that I own. Otherwise, I stick to all the handlooms. And another thing with the saris, Manisha was reminding me, is one time we were at a social gathering and Alka said, "Oh, that's a gorgeous baluchari." And I said, "No, it's a sundarchari," which was a new term, because balucharis that are made with gold thread are called sundarcharis. So, I mean, this was a big theme about all of that stuff. And the last thing I want to say is that when she wasn't writing and painting and designing and even writing poetry, she was devoting her energies to caring for others. She never forgot her 1970s painting teacher, Ram Gori. She treated him as a father figure, and she celebrated his exhibitions, his birthdays, and organized other students, all of the alumni, to collect his works as a fundraiser when he needed help for his medical recovery. And of course, to Manisha, she was a mother and a sister, and she even joined Harika to take some Odissi dance classes from me. She insisted on calling me Guruji, which is obviously nonsense, but I allowed her to bend down and touch my feet because it was good exercise for her. I figured she should go up and down. So I am really grateful to Manisha and Harika, and also to Sanjay, for their efforts to make this contribution of this very precious book available to all of us, and to do it in this multimedia event, which is very ambitious. I hope we get out before midnight, but it is a wonderful tribute to Alka. Thank you.
Bollywood actor and Alka's dearest friend, Mr. Sudhir Thailang's brother, Mr. Rajesh Thailang is with us. I request him to kindly speak a few words.
अलका दी से कितना प्यार करती थी, उसका अभी भी मुझे एक इशारा मिला, मुझे अपने पास ही बिठाया उन्होंने स्टेज में, कहीं जगह नहीं मिली, बिल्कुल करीब ही वहीं मुझे बैठने का मौका मिला। मैं अलका दी को जानता हूँ जब मैं 10 साल का था। मेरे बड़े भाई सुधीर तैलंग और अलका दी बहुत ही क्या कहना पक्के घनिष्ठ दोस्तों में से थे, तो मैंने बचपन से उनके साथ बहुत सारा वक्त गुजारा है और मैं एक्टिंग करता रहा बचपन से ही, लेकिन बाकी आर्ट फॉर्म्स के बारे में जो मेरा एप्रिसिएशन पावर या जो भी डेवलप हुआ उसमें अलका दी का बहुत ज़्यादा योगदान है। उन्होंने मुझे ख़ास तौर पे पेंटिंग्स और डांस वगैरह और इतना कुछ उनसे सीखने को मिला है, उसको तो मैं अभी ज़्यादा क्या बताऊं, लेकिन मुझे भी उनके साथ 2 बार काम करने का मौका मिला, एक एहसास में ही रैंप वॉक करने का और एक बार उसी पे एहसास पे एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री बनाने का। पिछले साल जब अलका दी बहुत बीमार चल रही थी तो एकदम आखिर में के वक्त में उन्होंने मुझे फ़ोन किया था और कहा था कि तुझसे बात किए बिना कैसे जाऊंगी, और वही आखिरी बात और आखिरी मतलब वो हमेशा मुझे ख्याल में रहता है और मैं ज़्यादा तो कह नहीं पाऊँगा। यही कहना चाहूँगा कि इनकी जो लेगेसी है वो बहुत भारी है और मुझे उम्मीद है मनीषा और हारिका और हम सब लोग मिलके उसको अच्छे से आगे बढ़ाएंगे।
आपका बहुत धन्यवाद। अब मैं श्रुति पब्लिकेशंस के सीईओ श्री संजय आर्या से निवेदन करती हूँ कि आप इस मौके पर 2 शब्द कहें।
Good evening, everybody. Mr. Kumar Tohin, Honorable Director General ICCR, Mr. Sunil Tandon, Director Habitat Center, esteemed guests on the dais and dear friends. It's indeed a pleasure to having you all for the book release, A Moment in Time by late Alka Raghuvanshi. The book was in process for the last 5 years. It got delayed because of COVID, and unfortunately we lost Alka in between. The book was almost complete by then, and her younger sister Manisha Gawade made it her priority that the book sees the light of the day. And today, on the Alka's 4th death anniversary, the book is being released in a memory. Words are short to describe the contribution of Alka for promoting Indian arts. In fact, she was the panacea of Indian arts and will always be remembered for her contribution. I thank you all for joining us today to celebrate her contribution to the field of arts. So hope and thank you all for making this book release a success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sanjay ji. We have in our midst a very popular, well-known ghazal singer, Radhika Chopra, who is also known for her rendition of Dadra Thumri compositions, bhajans, filmy Punjabi folk songs, as well as Sufiana kalams. I request her to speak a few words on Alka Raghuvanshi.
हजारों साल नरगिस अपनी बेनूरी पे रोती है, बड़ी मुश्किल से होता है चमन में दीदावर पैदा। आप सभी ख़वातीन और हज़रात को मेरा आदाब, नमस्कार। कभी कभी ज़िंदगी में ऐसा मकाम आता है कि आप किसी के बारे में कुछ कहना चाहते हैं और हज़ारों बातें होती हैं जहन में, लेकिन अल्फाज कम पड़ जाते हैं। आप सोच में पड़ जाते हैं कि आप क्या कह सकते हैं। ऐसी ही एक शख्सियत का नाम है अलका रघुवंशी। वो मुख्तलिफ फ़न की माहिर थी, ये हम सब जानते हैं, मल्टी टैलेंटेड। लेकिन उनका एक हुनर जिसका मैं हमेशा ज़िक्र करती हूँ, ईश्वर ने उन्हें एक ख़ास हुनर से नवाजा था। ख़वातीन व हज़रात, वो जिससे मिलती, बात करती, हंसती, मुस्कुराती, उसे ज़िंदगी भर के लिए अपना बना लेती, अपनी मोहब्बत की मुट्ठी में कैद कर लेती। उनकी मोहब्बत की मुट्ठी में हज़ारों लोग कैद थे, उन्हीं में से मैं नाचीज़ भी एक हूँ। मेरा और उनका रिश्ता बहुत तवील नहीं था, मुख्तसर था, लेकिन मेरे लिए इतना था कि ताउम्र मैं उन्हें नम आँखों से याद करूँगी और होंठ मुस्कुराएंगे। मैं तहे दिल से मुबारकबाद देना चाहती हूँ संजय आर्या जी, मनीषा गावड़े। मनीषा से ख़ास तौर पे एक बात कहना चाहती हूँ, जिसके पास आप जैसी बहन हो वो तो दुनिया से कभी जा ही नहीं सकता, क्योंकि आप उन्हें ज़िंदा रखेंगी उनके काम के ज़रिए, उनकी बातों के ज़रिए। इससे ज़्यादा शायद कुछ ना कह पाऊँ। अगर आपकी इजाज़त हो तो 2 शेर सुनाना चाहूँगी जो उनके पसंदीदा थे, और वो जब भी मेरे प्रोग्राम्स में आती तो हमेशा फरमाइश करती थी। हालांकि उनकी फरमाइशें 3-4 रहती थी और मैं हमेशा कहती थी कि अलका जी कुछ और भी फरमाइश कीजिए, तो बस फिर वही हंसी, वही मुस्कुराहट और वही अपनी मुट्ठी में कैद। मखदूम मयूद्दीन का कलाम है। एक मतला और एक शेर सुनाने की इजाज़त चाहती हूँ। उम्मीद कर रही हूँ कि वो यहीं आसपास हैं, सुन रही हैं, मुस्कुरा रही हैं। इजाज़त। आपकी याद आती रहे रात भर, आपकी याद आती रहे रात भर, चश्म नम मुस्कुराती रहे रात भर, आपकी याद आती रहे रात भर, दर्द की शम्मा जलती रही रात भर, दर्द की शम्मा जलती रही, गम की लौ थर थराती रही रात भर, आपकी याद आती रही। बहुत शुक्रिया।
Thank you, Radhika, for such beautiful tribute. I now invite on stage Kumud Sharma ji. Kumud Sharma is the Chief Executive Officer of Supernova Global Services Private Limited, Bangalore, and sits on the board of Srishti Software. Kumud Sharma ji.
Good evening, everyone. I know Alka for last 4-5 years only, and we got connected on a sari 6 years group. And it was such a beautiful connection as you shared that जैसे ही मिले वो अपना बना लेती थी. I mean, she made us so comfortable whenever we chatted, spoke about anything. And being in the corporate life, we had to change all the day the numbers, targets, and how the quarter and quarter performance. And in the evening, when we come and talk about arts and saris and the book what she's writing, it was such a jingle in the ears and such a soothing thing to talk to her. So I was such a pleasing personality. I can keep on talking about her. We all spoke. And so I always admired and kept telling her that Alka di aapse baat karke, aapki smile dekh ke, I mean, so much energy I get all the time. He said, you come and meet. And then I came and I used to come for my walk to Delhi many times. And she was so humble and gave me time to meet here only in Indian Habitat Center many times, couple of times. And she said, "Pehle khao, uske baad mast raho, bindas raho, tension mat lo. Let's talk about this." And then we planned for this book, in fact, that time, and we were talking about how to take this Indian heritage, rich heritage, and make it available to the wider audiences, especially in the corporate sector, where people are so busy in day-to-day like a rat race, chasing the numbers, taking targets on. And we had continuous talk, many times hours, literally hours talk on the video, on the WhatsApp video or some calls. And we planned out on this book that what all she wrote about it. She's such a beautiful writer. I mean, not being from the art background, and we loved reading each and every line of it. And such a pleasure to be connected, and I really, really thank Manisha ji for so happy that this book got released, and we found out in the mails that she had the draft version, and we had plans to take it to the corporate sector and make it a coffee table book on the corporates and giving it to expats when they come and they want to really know about Indian rich heritage. So all that, I can't say more. I mean, we all connected for such a short time, but I feel I don't know, I don't have words when we got to know that she is no more. I thought, oh God, my light is gone kind of feeling I had. And she was such a humble. Thank you everyone, and thank you for having me here. Thank you so much.
We have with us Suhasini Shah, founder and chairperson of Precision Foundation. A doctor, lawyer, and a businesswoman, she takes keen interest in all forms of art, music, and dance, and was a friend of Alka. I request her to pay her tributes to Alka.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, let me thank Manisha ji for giving me this opportunity and honor of being here with such distinguished personalities for the launch of Alka ji's book, A Moment in Time with Legends of Indian Arts. I truly and sincerely appreciate the Herculean efforts that you have taken to make this happen. My virtual friendship with Alka ji was unfortunately very short. I met her first in March of 2020 on a sari group, and our virtual friendship started with discussing saris and different weaves and handlooms, and it progressed into knowing each other better and then discussing our passions, our interests, common interests. We used to talk late in the night in wee hours and talk, chat, laugh, and I used to really have a good time. In June of 2020, Alka ji spoke to me about the limited edition of this book, and she asked me if I would like to sponsor some copies, which I could probably give as gifts to the artists that we invite for our cultural programs and for Precision Sangeet Mahotsav in Solapur. And my immediate reaction was yes, and she was very happy. We wrote the sponsor page, she edited it, and the book was taking shape. She kept sending me all the soft copies. We would then exchange notes and talk a lot, and it was last year in April that there was a gap in the communication for almost a month, and I was really getting worried with the COVID situation in Delhi being so bad. I kept on sending messages to her. And finally, on 5th of May, she calls me and she said, I'm there, I'm very much there. I went through a very bad patch, but I'm back and I'm recovering. And I was very happy to hear her. We again spoke in about 8 days. That's when she said, I'm steadily recovering. And then this sad news, it hit me like it was really a shock to know about this. I unfortunately could never meet her in person. I really wanted to make a trip to Delhi to meet her, but because of COVID, I couldn't plan the travel, and we couldn't meet personally. But we got connected so well, and I really would cherish all the memories, that all the time that I spent with her, talking with her. But I really feel that I got a friend for lifetime in Manisha ji. Manisha ji, thank you so much for everything. And we have this book now, which we have a few copies of this book, and we give it to our guests who come to Precision Camshafts and Precision Foundation for our cultural programs. So we'll definitely cherish this all our life. Thank you very much.
And now we have with us one person who has conceived and designed this entire evening very painstakingly, who has pledged to take Alka's legacy forward. Alka's younger sister, Manisha Gawade. Manisha is an acclaimed painter, curator, and covers the arts as a columnist for the Deccan Herald. She is also the CEO of Ehsaas, founded by Dr. Alka Raghuvanshi. I request Manisha to speak a few words.
A very good evening to all of you. I am very, very happy to have all of you sitting today in front of me. I have seen this image in my mind for the last 1 month, ever since I got the book in my hand. It was a very long and very painstaking journey because I didn't know where the dummy was, at what stage the book was accurately. So after Alka's demise, it was a very big struggle to be able to take the book forward, get the book edited, design the book or redesign it for that matter in places where it was required. I was very happy and excited to design the book cover. I must say that this was a dream. It was an important documentation of the Indian arts and Indian heritage, of the legends that definitely needed a historic documentation together in one compilation book. I'm very pleased and very happy to have everybody, all my dearest Ehsaas team and all my distinguished guests here right in front of me, who have supported me all through Alka's absence. It was indeed a very difficult journey for Harika, for myself, as we lived with Alka for the last 10 years. It was not easy. The last 1 month, it was only during the last 1 month of her before her demise that she had fallen sick due to pollen allergy and asthma. It was not due to COVID, as some Twitter comments say here and there. There's an important person here sitting amongst us, and I would like to call him upon this stage because it was only him and me and 2 other important doctors who saw through this whole journey. Dr. Watts, please join us and say a few words. Dr. Watts has been Alka's dear friend. He has known Alka for the last 30 years. Alka would very often discuss her life and how things were as they stood with Dr. Watts. The last 1 month, I think I wouldn't be standing in front of you. I wouldn't have been able to take this book out. I wouldn't have been able to even think about this entire process if I didn't have his support all through. Dr. Vats.
Good evening, friends. I don't know where to start. Well, I've known Alka for a very long time. The first time I met her when she came for some surgical procedure to my nursing home. And then gradually our friendship grew. She presented me a couple of paintings. And I had no clue what they were all about. And I said, Alka, why don't you initiate me into a little bit of understanding of the art? And she said, Doc, don't worry, aa jayega aapko samajh mein dheere dheere. And literally, I began to understand what colors meant. And I told her, I said, ye sab kya hai? As a doctor, bilkul idea nahi tha ki ye sab bhi hota hai. And then our friendship grew. She would call me up in the night, 11:30, 12. Doc, are you awake? I am usually a late sleeper. He said, तुम कैसे कभी जाग रही हो? कोई बात नहीं. Then we get to start talking. And I had acted a bit smart. I would just initiate some topic and then just sit back. And she did all the talking. So, if I wanted to know something about any personality, I would just introduce, Alka, इनका नाम सुना है, कौन है? And then she had the whole encyclopedia about that person. And then I would dig up some name from the newspaper next time. Alka, ye kaun hai? So it was such a beautiful relationship, spending time, and we were aware as doctors that she had asthmatic problem and she was suffering from breathlessness. But not for a moment I thought she would leave us. It was all so sudden, and fortunately or unfortunately, I did meet her on her last birthday. Probably I was the only guest because those were COVID times and she was not calling up anybody. But she said, Doc, I want to see you. I haven't seen you for a long time. Why don't you drop in? I said, Alka, I'm so worried, not about myself, but more about you. She said, doesn't matter. Aap aa jao. So probably अच्छा ही हुआ. I went to see her that time. And after going away, I realized how much she cared about Chotu and, Manisha, and the amount of responsibility that Manisha has shouldered all alone. It's been very difficult times for her. And I did vouch. I said, but I'll be there. Whenever you need me, I am around. And I'll be there whenever she needs me. Thank you.
Manisha would now like to felicitate our guest of honor and the legends of art world for standing by Alka and Manisha for many decades. She'd first like to felicitate our chief guest, Mr. Kumar Tohin. This is a beautiful painting made by Manisha. Mr. Sunit Tandon, who made it possible for us to organize this event.
Still on.
This was not possible without him, for sure. So we have a lot to thank him for.
Guru Radha Reddy and Srimati Kaushalya Reddy.
I and Alka shared the same birthday and we were caught up at the same
मेरा ये फ्रेम है देखो एग्जैक्ट फ्रेम ये है ना मैं देख चुका हूँ
यार उमेश ये तेरे भाई बीच में खड़े हैं खड़े हो खड़ा हुआ आराम से और बैठ जाएगा लेके
Shri Ranbir Kaleka.
There's something I was thinking that there was this one aspect of Alka's personality which probably wasn't quite mentioned this evening. It was a directness and openness. I remember one anecdote, well, an event. It was in the 80s. We went to a music concert, and so she was watching my expressions and watching my body language, and so she looked me straight in the eye and she said, "You don't understand music, do you?"
फोटो खींच रहे हैं ना
उसको देख के आओ ना उसको कुछ नहीं बनाना आ रहा देख उसका कैमरा एंगल क्या है
Ustad Wasifuddin Dagar. Guru Sharon Lowen. Sharon. Shri Sanjay Arya. Radhika Chopra. लेकिन आप लोग की तरफ से प्रतिक्रिया भी आनी चाहिए. एकदम शांत हो रहा है वहाँ का माहौल. राजेश तेलंग जी. Rajesh ji looked so much like Sudhir ji. I took a double take, when I met him. A special thanks for the unconditional support for the book, Suhasini Shah. थोड़ी तालियां और सुननी चाहिए. And also to Kumud Sharma ji for her unconditional support. Meeta Pandit, who performed earlier this evening. I invite Guru Ranjana Gohar, whose disciples will be performing later on. And as Ranjana ji said earlier, she is wearing an Ehsaas sari which has been designed by Alka. Befitting tribute to Alka's memory. मुझे सिर्फ एक ताली नजर आ रही है, क्यों? Rashmi Vaidilingam ji, who will be performing in a short while from now. Rashmi Vaidilingam. And Shinjini Kulkarni, Pandit Birju Maharaj ji's granddaughter, who will be performing in the end. We have a special appreciation trophy in memory of Alka Raghuvanshi. This show also celebrates the journey and success of Ehsaas, the largest walking installation of the world of combined arts together, and most of the participants are also a part of today's program. Dr. Alka Raghuvanshi, the founder of Ehsaas, curated and designed saris which were digitally juxtaposed into saris, stoles, neckties and bags from paintings by 5 eminent artists, Professor Niren Sengupta, Sridhar Iyer, Sanjay Bhattacharya, Manisha Gawade and herself. The show was a huge success, and today Ehsaas has grown to become a successful sari brand and has helped close to 200 handloom weavers. The initiative, although brought to life by Alka, also conceptualized by both Alka and her sister Manisha. Her sister Manisha has made sure that the show goes on post Alka's demise, and in a short span of only 1 year, Ehsaas has held 3 online exhibitions, helping many weavers and weaving styles from extinction by providing them a bigger platform. Today we celebrate our very special team who has been a part of this incredible creative journey with us over the last 2 decades. The journey proudly entails over 125 painting exhibitions within India and abroad by both Dr. Alka Raghuvanshi and Manisha Gawade, and 26 books authored by Alka. They have stood by us through thick and thin. They have worked ever so hard. These are our heroes behind the scenes. We would like to honor them for their hard work, dedication and continued support. I invite Mr. Sunit Tandon to present these trophies to our project team for a moment in time, along with the appreciation certificates. And I request Kumar Tuhinji to kindly join Suneet on stage. I invite Kamal Jamwal for book graphic design. Kamal Jamwal.
Kamal Jamal?
Not here. Not here. Nina Gulati for media relations. Nina.
And the short one.
Rashi Rohatgi, also for media relations. Rashi Rohatgi? Not here. Ini Singh for photography. Ini Singh? Ini was very much here. Umesh Verma for photography. Harika Gawade for social media handling and painting. Mohammad Safiq for framing. Inderjeet Singh for framing. You all are enjoying the beautiful paintings because of the framing that they've done. Please give them a big round of applause. Chandrasekhar Falura for logistics. Raghunath Haldar for graphics. And Habitat Center program team, I request Shadab ji to come on stage. Naresh and Shadab ji. Habitat Center program team, Naresh ji, Shadab ji. I think they're all busy working behind the scenes. Shadab ji is here. Shadab ji is here.
And now, the last but not the least, Sadhna Srivastavji, who has done a tremendous amount of work to make this evening so special. This evening would have been different without you. Ladies and gentlemen, that takes care of the program on stage. I request all our distinguished guests on stage to kindly take their seats in the auditorium now. Some of our senior legends of music and dance world who were not able to physically join us today as they were traveling have sent their audiovisual messages that we will now be playing, along with the interviews that Dr. Alka Raghuvanshi captured and planned for the launch of this book just a few months before her demise. These were with Ustad Amjad Ali Khan, Pandit Birju Maharaj, Mr. Ranbir Kaleka and Arun Vadera, and they have been edited for today's screening.
Ladies and gentlemen, kindly give us a couple of minutes while the stage is being set, and then we will screen the messages that we have received and the interviews which Alka had taken. Thank you.
Namaskar. I would now like to request Ustad Amjad Ali Khan, who is an integral part of the book, to unveil the book in the memory of Dr. Alka Raghuvanshi and also share with us some magical moments that he spent with the author. Thank you.
This is the room where Alka came and we spoke for a long time. Such a multifaceted, multidimensional personality, and art and culture was her forte. And but I think she was involved in sarees also, I think, and exhibitions and collecting sarees. And this book, A Moment in Time, I think I haven't seen any book which could cover so many artists of various kind, musician, painter. मैं यही कहूँगा कि we need more writers like Alka Raghuvanshi जी, जो कलाकारों को इनको जो प्यार मिला कलाकारों से, आर्टिस्ट से, और ये सबके साथ कितने कलाकार हैं जिनके साथ इनका फ्रेंडशिप थी, दोस्ती थी, और सबका प्यार मिला, आशीर्वाद मिला। और एक इस किताब को ए मोमेंट इन टाइम, ये बहुत बड़ा हमारे देश का एक कलेक्टिव आइटम इसको आप कह सकते हैं।
On this anniversary of Alka Raghuvanshi, I would like to pay my Shraddhanjali and Naman to her memory and to the great work that she had been engaged upon at the time when she left on another journey. And it is this book, A Moment in Time, that has been brought out by her sister Manisha, who has finished the unfinished task left by Alka. It is a beautiful book which captures the lives of so many of our great stalwarts in various fields of art. And as far as Alka is concerned, we all know what a multi-talented person she was, with her interests
ranging in all fields of arts. Not a person was left untouched by her great warmth, her affection, her laughter, and her zest for life, her zest for including everyone in her warm embrace. And it is wonderful to see how Manisha is carrying on the tradition. And today we have all gathered here to pay our respects to the memory of Alka Raghuvanshi. Thank you, Manisha. Thank you for bringing out this book. I would have been present myself on this occasion, but I'm just leaving for the airport to be away for 6 weeks, and hence this video message to you and to all our friends in the art world.
Namaskaram. We are Raja, Radha and Kaushalya Reddy. Knew Alka Raghuvanshi since over 40 years. We were living in Vittalbhai Patel House in Rafi Marg, very close to Parliament Bhavan and All India Radio. Alka also used to live there nearby Vittalbhai Patel House along with her parents. And every morning she used to walk from the front of our house to the college. I used to admire her walk, her talk and her smile. Not only me, people from the nearby place also, they were admiring her beauty. She was such a beautiful person with beautiful features and beautiful smile. So I can never forget her. And as she dedicated to the art of our Bharat, I used to tell her, why don't you learn dance? She used to laugh with beautiful laugh. And she was interested in Chitrakala, painting. As we are dedicated to Natyam, she also dedicated to Chitrakala. Not only Chitrakala, she used to write about dance in one of the prominent newspapers pioneer about dance as a dance critic. And she used to write some articles also about dance. That's how we become one family. Such a beautiful person with beautiful heart, and her dedication to our Bharat culture is not forgettable. We can never forget her dedication. And she used to conduct a program, Dham program as Sutradhara. In 3-4 programs I have seen. And 2 years back, one presentation of Kuchipudi, Odissi and Kathak. She was the Sutradhara. Such a beautiful presentation I can never forget. 1 year back when we came to know that she is no more, we felt so bad, we were crying even with the tears, missing our lovely, beautiful lady. And the art world can never forget her dedication, her contribution to the art of our Bharat, for which our Bharat is known, Prachi Sudha. We only pray Lord to give peace to her soul.
नमस्कार। बिरजू महाराज एक ऐसे डांसर हैं जिनको इस युग का युग पुरुष कहना अतिशोक्ति बिल्कुल नहीं होगी। वो सिर्फ डांसर ही नहीं है, वो एक संपूर्ण कलाकार हैं। वो गाते हैं, वो बहुत सारे वाद्य बजाते हैं, कोरियोग्राफी करते हैं, पोएट्री लिखते हैं और पेंटिंग भी करते हैं। तो आज एक मुलाकात, एक बड़ी खास मुलाकात एक ऐसी शख्सियत से जो युग पुरुष हैं नृत्य के, बिरजू महाराज जी। महाराज जी, आपने एक बार अपने आप को कहा था कि मैं गंगा की तरह हूँ, और गंगा की शाखाओं की तरह मेरे जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं, जो मेरे परिवार के बच्चे हैं, वो उनमें मैं बट गया हूँ। इसके विषय में आप क्या कहते हैं? इसको जरा समझाइए कि आप क्या कहें।
हाँ बिल्कुल, बहुत अच्छी तरह याद है, क्योंकि कला ऐसा क्षेत्र है जिसके अंदर इतने बहाव हैं, इतने मोड़ हैं, इतने रास्ते हैं। तो उसमें जो हमारे बहुत से स्टूडेंट आते हैं, तो हम चाहते हैं कि हर स्टूडेंट के अंदर एक धारा अच्छी बने, और हर स्टूडेंट के अंदर एक बड़ा ख़ास नज़रिया हो। हमारा जो विचार है, किसी में तेज़ी हो, किसी में भावनाएं हो, किसी में अभिनय हो, किसी के अंदर, तो हर स्रोत को हर स्टूडेंट संभालिए, ये मैं हरदम चाहता हूँ।
बहुत सारे गुरुओं के लिए महाराज जी ये कहा जाता है कि वो बहुत संकीर्ण मन से सिखाते हैं अपने स्टूडेंट्स को, और अपने परिवार वालों को वो बंदिशें सिखाते हैं जो कि बाकी लोगों को बिल्कुल नहीं सिखाते हैं। आपने ऐसा कभी नहीं किया, ऐसा क्यों?
ना, कभी नहीं, और आगे भविष्य में भी नहीं करूँगा, क्योंकि मेरे स्टूडेंट उनको मैं उतना ही प्यार करता हूँ जैसे अपने घर के बच्चों की तरह, क्योंकि घर के बच्चों में तो प्यार है ही जो कहते हैं, लेकिन जो स्टूडेंट लेने वाला है हमसे, कला को लेने वाला है, उसके अंदर ही अगर भावनाएं हैं और अच्छी तरह से हमको व्यक्त कर सकते हैं, तो फिर उसके अंदर बिल्कुल हम ही दिखाई पड़ेंगे, उसके अंदर भी दिखाई पड़ेंगे। जरूरी नहीं कि घर का वाला हो। असल नाच जो है, अगर उसको आपने साध लिया है, उसकी रोशनी में आप 4 चीज़ें और दिखाई पड़ती हैं। उसको मैं चिराग अगर आपने जला दिए तो हर खिड़की, हर दरवाजा आपको दिख रहा है।
If the color was right, so we spent a lot of time mixing the color, getting the color right. It had to be right. So it was never pure color. This is how we discovered the fakes, where people don't realize, or they simply make it. His colors were much more subtle. You know, in college, he did charcoal drawings, where he was excellent in doing those. Then he practiced whatever, in art colleges one does. But this is not something which he continued with.
The one thing which fascinates me about Manjeet's preoccupation with animals, cows and buffaloes, where do you think that was coming from?
I think there would be various sources. Of course, he was interested in miniature paintings, and miniature paintings carry those animals. And then itself, if I think of the horse, then one thinks of other animals as well, right from his childhood. And then there is the configuration which is possible by again splitting up an animal and bringing it together again. So he can play a choreography of different parts of the human body and the animal body.
When he used so-called clashing colors, he was able to have such a great command over the colors that they didn't appear clashing.
Exactly. So that's the reason, on one side, let's say a violin is playing, on the other side somebody is, the drums are beating up the drum. So they went off well with each other, irrespective of whether they get along with each other or they don't get along with each other.
Also, because his own sort of experience with large billboards in the initial years of his life, I think that helped him to be able to translate it out in words very quickly and find, imagine already what big canvas will look like.
Exactly. So he was very daring that way. He dared to put color which normally another artist would not do. So he did that. And that's right, that his experience with painting billboards, as he would tell me that he would get permission to paint a billboard only in the night, at 1 o'clock in the night till about 6 in the morning, and he had to put the whole thing on the road and paint it and finish it so that the traffic, before the traffic comes, the billboard is ready. And at the same time, at that time, we used to do portraits for 25 rupees each. And some would accept it, others may not
accepted because they were not meant to be flattering. They were what he thought the other person was like. So if it was not flattering, he would not get any money as well. So he kept working himself. Nobody has contributed as much to Indian art as he has. He was a walking, talking billboard for Indian art. I would go a lot of times from here to Defence Colony Market, to the gallery to Defence Colony Market, to a Buddha. So we would buy a Buddha each and come back eating it. But both by going and coming, he would at least autograph 20. And some people did not have a paper and a pencil. They would say, "Nilsa, please sign here." Or a girl would say, "Can you please sign on my dupatta?" Like that. And I don't think there's any other artist even today or have been in the last 30, 40, 50 years who was so recognizable and who had such a huge fan following. So his labor Mahmood was it. It was not Amir Hussain, it was just Mahmood. Then he said that I have to get a passport made, so the passport guy said, "Please write full name." So he said, "Okay, let me add Fiza," that was his father's name. And then there was a debate within him that should I do Ahmad or should I do Muhammad or should I do Hussain? He said, "Let me do Hussain." So he became from Mahmood to Amir Hussain. And that, he said, changed my life forever.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have for you 3 very short dance performances by way of Hazri and Nrityanjali to Alka by her friends. First presentation is by disciples of Odissi dancer and guru, Sangeet Natak Academy and Padma Shri awardee Guru Ranjana Gohar. Her disciples will be performing on stage. Ranjana ji is known for her soulful abhinay and for expanding the repertoire of Odissi with her innovative choreographic works in different languages of India. A multifaceted personality, she has choreographed several dance dramas which have been highly appreciated. She has also authored a book titled Odissi, the Dance Divine, and has produced documentaries and serials for Doordarshan on Odissi and other classical dance forms. Ranjana pays tribute to her long-time friend from the pioneer days, Alka, with the Dashavataar, which will be performed by her disciples. The avatar or incarnation concept is the very cornerstone of Hindu theology and mythology. According to it, the supreme power manifests itself in various forms and avatars to destroy evil. The 10 avatars are Matsya or fish, Kurma or tortoise, Varaha or boar, Narsimha or half man, half lion, Vamana, the dwarf, Parshuram, Ram, Balram, Buddha, the enlightened one, and finally Kalki, yet to manifest. This Dashavatar has been written by the 12th century poet Jayadev, who wrote the immortal poem Sri Geet Govindam, a masterpiece in Sanskrit literature. Dashavatar is in Ragamalika set to Champatal. Choreography is by the legendary Guru Mayadhar Raut. Music composition is by Bankim Sethi. The performers for the evening are Ankita Bakshi, Swati Sharma, Nainika Prakash, Lavanya Chud, and Anika Tandon. Dashavatar by disciples of Guru Ranjana Gohar.
Sathi
Ladies and gentlemen, we now have for you performance by another friend of Alka, Rashmi Vaidyalinga. Rashmi is a Kuchipudi dancer, disciple of Guru Raja Radhareddy. She is known for her powerful portrayal of male characters, the Purush Veshya. She is also an acclaimed theatre and TV actor with many award-winning plays to her credit. An advocate by profession, Rashmi Vaidyalinga is a practicing lawyer at the Delhi High Court. Alka was a connoisseur of performing arts, a true rasika, who enjoyed the abhinay element of classical dance. And to pay tribute to her friend, Rashmi has chosen an abhinay piece, Yavade, a padam in Ragam Shankarabharnam set to Mishra Japutanam. Choreography is by Gurus Raja and Radhareddy. In this padam, the heroine is a woman who is married to one man but is in love with another. The Nayika recalls her romantic liaison with Lord Krishna, whom she considers so dear to her that she cannot even reveal the same to her friend or her Sakhi. Instead, she pretends not to recognize Krishna and gets angry over this unknown young man lest her friend guess the truth. Rashmi Vaidyalinga. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Kathak by Shinjini Kulkarni. Shinjini is the granddaughter of the legendary Pandit Birju Maharaj. Shinjini represents the 9th generation of the Kalka Bindadin lineage and started learning from her Nana Maharajji since the age of 5. A TEDx speaker, Shinjini has also acted in films. Through her performance today, she pays homage to her grandfather, the legendary Pandit Birju Maharaj, and to Alka Raghuvanshi. Kathak by Shinjini Kulkarni.
चंद्रमा
Ladies and gentlemen, we now conclude this evening's program. Thank you all for being with us, for making this evening so memorable and so special. On behalf of Manisha Gawade and Shruti Publications, thank you once again. Good night. Namaskar.